how many people think Atlanta United can beat Inter Miami? Legitimately think Atlanta United can beat Inter Miami over 3 games in these playoffs? Because I'm curious about that. You look at these brackets, Robert. You look at the teams that are atop the conference tables on both sides: Inter Miami, Columbus Crew, LAFC, LA Galaxy, and what I see is a gap between the top 2 teams in each conference and everybody else. Now, it doesn't mean Cincinnati can't beat Columbus or Miami for that matter if it comes down to it. It doesn't mean that, I don't know, on their best day, Seattle, RSL, whoever can't spring something out west. It just feels like they are a clear step behind those other teams and makes it easy to look at that bracket and go chalk, 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 chalk. Four top 4 seeds, number 1, number 1, number 2, conference finals. And obviously it's a little bit more of a crapshoot once you get there. Like, it's a little bit more of a question. Inter Miami Columbus would be massive in Fort Lauderdale. LAFC Galaxy would be massive in Los Angeles. So I know there's always this thing about MLS can throw up a surprise, and this league allows for an 8 seed to win the whole thing. I just cannot see it this year.
Yeah, the spread of points from first to last was like 56 points across the league. Granted, more teams, more possibility for that sort of spread, but it is stark that there was definitely a pretty clear tiering in the overall table, and those 4 do stand out, 2 on each side. Cincinnati a little bit closer than Salt Lake in the West to be that third team.
Sure,
But of
based on
those
history.
4, those 4 front runners, which one of those is most likely to, or most vulnerable to have a slip up?
I mean, I think if you ask me where my confidence lies, I would say that I'm most confident in Miami, and Columbus would be a very close number 2.
I
I think
think
the
fatigue is
East,
probably the thing with Columbus.
perhaps, but I think they know how to do this, right? And I think Wilfred Nancy is an incredible in-game coach.
Mm.
And I think that's going to come to the fore here. So I would say Miami a tick above, just a tiny bit, a tick above Columbus. And then the 2 Western teams kind of get lumped together. Like, I would say LAFC is ahead of the Galaxy because of their history in these kind of competitions, in tournaments, and obviously, winning an MLS Cup and making an MLS Cup final last season, because the Galaxy just haven't been here for a while. And I think the Galaxy are very good, but I wonder if that is going to show up, particularly if they have to go across town and play LAFC in their building with a chance to advance to MLS Cup final on the line. We don't know exactly how everything's going to play out, but that could be for hosting rights. We don't know. I mean, I have to look at the combined table. Obviously, Inter Miami is the number 1 overall seed. And so for them, it's a matter of, if they go all the way, they're going to host the final, no question. But we've had years where it's been a surprise who ended up hosting the final because we didn't expect that team to come out of that conference. So it looks like, okay, Miami, Columbus, LAFC, and Galaxy are on. Then they tied, but LAFC came out a little bit ahead because of the goal difference, right? So yeah, it would be like if Columbus and Miami come out of the East, then neither one of the LA teams can host the final. But who knows? Maybe an upset gives them that opportunity.
So I think maybe the coaching, I liked your point about Wilfred Nancy being really good in-game strategist and making adjustments, and he's just been, has had the magic touch so far in his time in MLS. Tata Martino has the second team now in MLS that he has pushed all the right buttons to get the stars performing at their top level, to get the role players performing at a higher level. Is the same thing true with the coaching in the Western Conference with the 2 LA teams?
Well, look, Greg Vanny's an MLS Cup champion. Steve
Yeah.
Trundle's an MLS Cup champion.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you doubt their ability to manage these games and manage these tournaments? But again, it's a matter of whether or not they have the team to do it. I mean, but the margins are fine. It's still Major League Soccer and it's still tournament football. So it could be one thing changes that game,